Hey everyone, Dr. Popular. I'm at One Drop Design.
Hello.
In Eugene, and right now we're waiting for folks to kind of come in. They're gonna start tumbling in, and we're gonna show you the collection here at One Drop in Eugene, Oregon.
Yes.
While we're waiting for folks to get here, hey y'all, howdy. What, Shawn? What am I doing here right now?
Well, we're here for 48-hour yo-yo, part two.
Part two. The first time we did a 48-hour yo-yo, it was the Weekender, the ultralight responsive yo-yo. This time we're doing something totally different that I haven't announced yet, but whenever I'm here, this cabinet, which I am knowingly hitting right now and shaking y'all, this cabinet is filled with just the best collection. I think this is maybe even the most important yo-yo collection in the States, and I know, Lucky obviously has an amazing collection. This collection is so specifically kind of modern yo-yoing. Like, there's not even like a Renegade or like a 2000s.
Oh,
this is like,
yeah.
This is like the most important yo-yos. I mean, that y'all could get. There's certainly ones that I'm sure you wish you had. What's a yo-yo you wish you had?
Ooh, let's see. A yo-yo I wish I had. I'd love to have some more Andert stuff.
Oh my God, Ander.
Because Russell is awesome.
Yeah,
He's a fellow machinist, so there was a while where we were shipping stuff back and forth just for fun. I'd love to have more of his stuff. A few yo-yos I wanted for a long time. They actually found their way here. The Spy Radian. This one, that one, I love that.
Now,
super nice work.
So I want to talk about these yo-yos. Now, I am obviously a fan of yo-yos with holes in them. And this is a thing called Terrarium. I was telling you about this the other day. Terrarium is just like bicycle racers were drilling holes in all of their parts to make them as light as possible. And so we've got this one. I saw an Icarus.
That's a 3D printed.
Yeah, so this is Terrarium. And this is something that y'all can't do on your normal machine, although you do have a mill.
We do, yeah. We could do some stuff like that, although there are certain machines that make that job a lot easier.
So yeah, like using the Icarus as an example, we've got these holes drilled in them, and this was literally like turned on a lathe and then drilled. They actually had to go through and drill each one, which doubled my cost, right? But when you're doing a mill, you can just do this as part of the design because it's not rotating. It's the machine. This is static, and these move.
I think that when Steve did this, I suspect he did this on a really nice machine because he's a great machinist, and I think he has access or had access to really good machinery at the time. I think this was done on what's called a live tooling lathe. So it's kind of like a lathe where you can turn things, but then inside the lathe is a small milling head where you can mill in the lathe at the same time. So it's kind of a universal machine. Sort of.
This thing is amazing.
That thing is, yeah, it's just the aggressive bead blast is really unfortunate.
Oh, that's what you don't like about it? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a string saw, but it's very cool.
Let's see if I can get this. Oh, it's not quite on. You get that, like,
well, look at that. It's just like sliced. It's so cool.
It's so cool. Yeah. So this is great, and you would think, it would catch the string or whatever, but like the string just kind of...
It's really hard to make that actually happen.
Yeah, like it has to really be spinning slow. And there's no advantage to this. This is
just cool. Cool factor. Another favorite, this is one that we actually looked for quite a while before finding it. This is the Pistolero, and it's got these holes drilled around the hub, and when it's spinning, you can see through.
Oh my God.
Because there's holes. If you take the shields off the bearing, you can see all the way through.
Now those holes don't line all the way up.
I believe they do.
How do they do that?
I don't know.
How do they do that?
Because Steve Buffle's a magician.
Is that just statistically they kind of line up?
I don't know. I mean, I know you could force it to move, some degrees of rotation, but I don't know. It's really impressive though.
Kind of to shine a light on this. Let's see if.
Yeah.
You can see right through there.
Right through there.
And yeah, same with...
So how did you do your yours to line up?
Oh, they don't.
Oh.
I don't think.
There's that.
Yeah, no. If mine line up, it's just a total fluke. But
well, 3D printing makes it easy. You just, 3D print yourself some honeycomb. How cool is that?
So one of my first things whenever I come here, I always look for yo-yos with holes. And one that I'm noticing is missing is the Sengaku, which all have a Sengaku, but they have kind of a one that looks like it has a throwing star on the inside.
Oh, right. I have seen that.
Yeah.
So the little windows with quite sharp corners.
Yeah.
That's very nice.
And then you do have things kind of organized here.
Sort of, yeah.
Let's pan back down a little bit.
Yeah.
And good wrapper. I saw you just got a terrarium. There's a ton of them over here. Thank you for picking up a terrarium. So this is One Drop Part 1.
This is One Drop Part 1, and it got too full, so we had to move downstairs to Part 2. But it's kind of, I mean, we like to say that it's somewhat organized, but really it's just kind of stuff thrown in a box.
Now, when I look in here, the first thing my eyes come to are copper.
Yes, copper.
Copper-plated yo-yos. And what are these guys?
Those are terrariums, actually.
Really? Copper-plated terrariums, which have not probably, y'all did one batch of these.
I think, yeah, it was problematic. Our plater at the time, we just really suffered with, they would corrode underneath the copper. So to make a copper yo-yo, you first take an aluminum yo-yo, and then you nickel plate it, which adds a bunch of weight. And then you put the copper over the nickel, which adds a bunch more weight. And so they got vibey, and the copper starts to wear. You know, you can see in the catch zone, it's like starting to wear through. So it wasn't quite thick enough, but if it got any thicker, it would be even heavier. So, you know, we did one run, and they're gorgeous, but problematic. So
and then you know, so copper really draws my eyes in.
it's beautiful.
Lots of nickel plated.
Yes, we lost that vendor as well.
Yeah. Silver coated, which you know, your silver coating. These are some of the rarest yo-yos I think you can possibly get from a One Drop. I think.
Yeah.
So these are both silver coated. This one's polished, and you would think, of course, I want my silver polished, but it turns out no. What you want is this beautiful patina. Yeah. This is grabby. I mean, it's nice. Like, nothing against this.
Yeah.
But this is magical. Yeah. This really catches your eye.
They really do wear well. But if you want to have a nice shiny silver yo-yo in your collection, you know, silver is pretty shiny.
So I have a deep state here that is silver plated somehow. What's going on here?
Is that silver or nickel?
Oh, it could be. Well, I don't know.
I think there's a splash nickel that people are doing. You take a nickel yo-yo, you polish it, and then you drivel some masking material like rubber cement on there, and then you force patina the yo-yo, and so you get a patina, and then you peel the masking material off, and it leaves a shiny pattern underneath. And so there's a lot of experiments going on with mustard and ketchup and Diet Coke and rubber cement, and nothing I was interested in doing in production. But
so David Yo-Yo's just asked, has anyone ever machined a small bearing yo-yo? And you know, I think the answer is obviously like yes, there's small bearings. If you're talking about A, have y'all made an A size bearing?
Not for us. We do it for contract work for other companies, for you, for Chuck and Jensen. So we've done small bearing yo-yos. We've never done them for ourselves.
Yeah. So A size bearings, you have not made an A size.
There isn't an A or D sized One Drop.
Has it been C since the start?
It's been C from the beginning.
Let's start about the beginning.
The project right there. Or the project. Number 1, C bearing.
Now, y'all were telling me that it's actually the project.
The project. Yeah.
So it's not the project, it's the project.
But you all decided it was project, so now it's just the project.
Yeah.
Yeah. We bent.
So the project, I mean, one of the things that comes to me about the project is it is a CNC machine.
It's made on a CNC mill versus everything else CNC lathe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they took a really long time to make. But they ended up being, you know, for the time, really nice yo-yos. People still love them. We have a few. There's a Higbee, a couple original ones, Markmont project, original Markmont project. So yeah, great yo-yo. You know, small, light, and vibey by today's standards, but still, you know, still holds a place in my heart.
Let's talk about your favorite. Is this your favorite yo-yo?
Yeah, my very most favoriteest yo-yo is right there. Citizen, the Citizen.
Let's come in close here.
Yeah.
So this is the Citizen by One Drop. What makes this so special to you?
I just really like the process of sitting down with a clean sheet and designing a nice, thin, well-weighted, well-balanced titanium yo-yo. Yeah, it was just a fun project because I got to, you know, sit down from the design all the way through the finished polishing, and every step along the way, you know, all happened in the shop there. And I mean, all of our yo-yos go through that, but there was just something about the challenge of making a yo-yo with walls that thin come out that well.
So yeah,
I liked overcoming the manufacturing challenges. I guess that was the most satisfying part.
and this wasn't your like first titanium yo-yo.
No, the first titanium yo-yo was the Sovereign, which I think has
This box.
my favorite.
Do they all come like
packaging.
that?
They all came like this. You say yes, and it's got this little acetate, fancy little bag, and it came like this. Do you remember Paul Wallace from Canada? Way back in the day, he made this special blended string just for this package, and it came with a one-drop bearing case,
Slash
this is the
weed
Novus.
grinder.
Yeah. No, just a container. And so this string and bearing container, and I love it. I love this yo-yo.
And it did't come with a half.
It did not come with a half.
But
There's only two of these.
This half is crazy.
You have one.
Not well. I have a whole. I don't have
You
a
have
half. Actually, I have two sovereigns. But that is just super freaking thin.
Right.
I love these cut in half.
Yeah. And the Citizen's even thinner than this.
Yeah. Holy cow, that's a lot of yo-yos. Howdy, Ernest. Howdy, everyone. If you have any questions, I'm gonna try to like
G-string, yes. That
check
guy.
in with you. Oh yeah, G-string. Paul Wallace G-string.
Paul Wallace G-string.
Right. Let's
That's
put
the
that
one.
up. I want to show my favorite yo-yos here.
Okay.
I am a huge fanboy of the
course.
Markmont Classic. And y'all have like there's more than these.
Oh yeah.
But I just kind of pulled these ones out. Now, the Markmont Classic to me is the ideal organic shape. This is my all-time favorite yo-yo. In particular, I somehow got one of these. So this is silver coated with a brass, side effect. Original Markmont Classic. Mine's not as patinaed as this, probably because I use it, so it's kind of polished it.
Sure.
I also see this nickel-plated version, which also has these kind of inner rings here, where I'm used to them being smooth. Is this a prototype?
Prototype, yeah, exactly.
So you prototyped and nickel-plated it, like from the start?
Yeah. We had, I think the Markmont Classic went through 12 or 13 variations, and not every one of them was built, but several of them were. So we started out and we would go back and forth in CAD. Then we decided that this was going to be it, and we made these samples with these ridges. And then once Mark got it, he wanted to go in a different direction, and so it evolved into, the final there.
So we have nickel-plated, we have
Also
nickel-plated, but like,
blasted instead of polished.
and then one of these is probably a newer version.
Let's see, that's clear anode, that's pewter,
Oh, these are probably both the same.
and then
era.
there is these are okay. So these are all Markmont Classics, and this is a
Magnum Opus.
Magnum Opus. There you go.
Cool. And so yeah, these are the ones that my eye comes toward. Super into the Markmont Classics. It's like one of my all-time favorite yo-yos. We had a question from Grant asking, when you cut your one-drop Sovereign,
Yes.
how did you get it in half so
Okay,
perfectly?
so we took it to a company across town that has an EDM machine, electron discharge machine, which is like a bandsaw that uses a blade that's as thin as a hair that's pumped full of electricity. And so you have, imagine this hair thin wire, and then you pass the material through there very slowly, and it's removing the aluminum or the titanium with a spark gap. And so it's a very complicated, expensive machine that we don't have. We paid somebody $100 to cut that in half for us.
We've only gotten through one drawer,
Right.
and I just kind of want to talk about your collection here.
Sure.
You have this one shot. Oh, there is a Markmont
Woolly Markmont,
Woolly Markmont.
and an anodized Woolly Markmont. There's only
One of one.
those. One of one.
So you've got this collection. Oh, I want to come back to these.
Oh, yeah,
So
of
we're going to
course.
talk about these. And then the second drawer, you have like basically 9 drawers.
9 or 10 drawers.
The top 2 drawers are one drops. So we
Yeah.
only talked about like that collection
the
of
first,
one drop.
right. This is somewhat newer stuff.
And I know y'all don't even have one of each yo-yo you've made.
We don't. I think what we're missing mostly is we don't have all of the benchmarks.
That's
Because
crazy.
we did 11 total yo-yos in the benchmark series, and we don't have them all.
And we see some steel.
Yeah, that's the Click, this little 303 stainless steel.
Raw. We see plastic hybrid.
Yeah, so that's a rally, which is we had injection molded on the East Coast, and they sent raw shells, look like this. It's like no machining, no guts, no nothing, and then we machined these to finish and put in our own rings. And oh, look at that!
What the fuck is this?
Well,
This copper plated
It's
thing.
a copper plated pseudo or
It's got kind of a schmoo.
rebirth.
It's subtle. It's not like sticking out. Man, I love copper plated. And you know, y'all have run into issues with copper and nickel
Yes.
and gold because you have to nickel to do gold.
Yeah.
So like that's a thing that's kind of on pause, I guess. At the
Yeah,
moment.
because a lot of our vendors we find where we live here, there's not a lot around here, and they're really more focused on industrial type finishes and usage. They're not really focused on consumer goods where it's going to end up in the hand of somebody who wants it to be beautiful. They're going to end up in a factory where they want it to be functional. So they don't really take the care that we would require.
I see a question from Ken. Any advice for getting into yo-yo manufacturing? And I assume that's for me because I'm the expert manufacturer here. No.
Oh gosh, go to the community college and take a manufacturing course, and ask lots of questions. I don't know. It depends.
Work in a machine
Work
shop.
in a machine shop. Yeah. Start in a machine shop.
When you work in a machine shop, do you get kind of lots of access usually to
At least you get access to people who have answers.
Yeah.
That part helps.
All right.
But maybe not access to,
So we went from 1-drops
to 2-1-drops, and this is kind of Canada.
Well, oh yeah. Oh shit. This is Canada.
This is Canada.
ARTs.
Art, and this is that's Jeffrey Pang. This is Northern Spin, which was in I think that's a Northern Spin Co. Like I don't remember what year. And is that an Evora? I can't remember all the names. There's too many yo-yos.
But Luftwerk.
Luftwerk, and this is Art over here. So you got some wooden stuff that Jensen made using our Cabal Guts kit, which is cool. Some super cool. I fucking love the doorknobs.
Doorknob.
Excuse my French. The 420.
They have fun. These guys have fun.
They do have a lot.
They
of fun.
experiment a lot.
Yeah, they do.
And then even these guys have 1-drop guts in them, basically.
Yeah. We sell the Guts kit, which makes making yo-yos out of wood or plastic a lot easier because we handle if you want a bearing yo-yo, if you want a fixed axle, that's something else. But if you want to put a nice bearing kit in any kind of odd material, plastic, wood, bone, concrete, marble, we make a Guts kit, so you can do that. So that's Art. This is Spy, who does amazing stuff.
I think these Pures are maybe
Pures.
some of the rare Spies.
Yeah.
But this Pistolero, I
I
think.
love the Pistolero. This one is a Pistolero.
You know what you're
without the
missing
holes.
is a gold-plated Ronin or any Ronin.
Yeah,
I have two.
So many. So cool.
What can I trade you a gold-plated Ronin for?
Oh, I don't know. Gold-plated Ronin.
Yeah, I have one of 4.
Or
Or 2 of 4.
Spy Spider.
Yeah, Spidey.
And this is Caribou Lodge.
Yeah.
Over this away. And so, we used to do lots of machining for Chris at Caribou. And so we have, a bunch of that stuff. So there's some old, people always love this stuff here. This is some kind of
those are
28 stories, Bear versus Man, yada yada.
those are
yada.
3 different yo-yos.
Two different. I
styles?
think these are the no. Yeah, these are the same.
That's kind of cool to have I would like to have like a run of yo-yos that all have the exact same. Like that looks like it was done on the same
They're
day.
the same. Yeah. I mean, God, I wish anodizers were more consistent.
Yeah.
But so that's lots and lots of cool Caribou stuff. I love the canvas. We machined these for Chris, and they were so much fun to make.
I've never. Ooh, it's heavier than I expected.
Yeah, here's another one. But I love that with the stamp.
Yeah, so this one's nice. It's got this like yellow finish, and then the inside it looks like it was spray painted, and then like stamped, pad stamped.
Yeah, I think it looks like a pad stamp. Yeah.
Which is pretty uncommon. Before we go to the next drawer,
Sure.
ask more questions because this is like a rare thing. Schoolboy Jew, that's his name, asked, what are the advantages of a 48-hour yo-yo project? And I'll say for me, it's very fun to just like come up here and like hang out with them instead of like doing stuff over the phone.
Yes.
Usually there's a train ride, and when there's not like pandemic and stuff, it's like a kind of more of a chillax thing.
Right.
The other thing is it's an excuse to try something weird.
Yes.
Like the spirit of it is, what's a thing that we wouldn't normally do, like a risk we wouldn't take. So the Weekender was this ultralight A-size bearing, which Shawn was saying they don't usually do those. It was everything was different. Like Shawn knows yo-yos, and so like you could like kind of give him some tweaks, and he'll know right away what's wrong or what'll work, or he'll have a tool ready for it. It was very fun to be like, everything you know is just out the window. You don't know anything about responsive bearings.
Right.
You don't know anything about ultralights, A-size bearings. And that was fun for both of us.
Right.
And this time we're doing something, just to drop a hint. I'm telling my Patreon sponsors all about it, but just to drop a hint, this time we're doing something that's not a yo-yo. It is an accoutrement for a yo-yo. How about that? How about that? And David Yo-Yos ask, would you make a magnesium yo-yo?
We have made a magnesium yo-yo. We made one magnesium project that we sent to Ernie of General Yo. So there's one out there. It's very, very light. It smells weird, and it's dissolving in the air because that's what happens to magnesium. And we also machined the death robot with Kyle Weems.
Kyle is a legend.
Yeah, so we've done some magnesium yo-yos before, and it's a very hard material to work with because it really, really wants to corrode no matter what you do to it. And we've always had a hard time. Actually, we have never found someone to successfully coat them for us. Kyle did his own thing with a ceramic coating, which was beautiful. But weird material, expensive, likes to catch on fire, and likes to corrode.
American Enojon, if you're asking about the kits that are inside the these guys, the kind of guts for like 3D printing or whatever, these are available to the public. I bought them through the site, so they're like, I think $9 for like these 2 discs and some posts and the bearing.
Yeah.
And then I saw another question, any plans for wooden yo-yos, which I think is a question for you, but I will say, I want to make a yo-yo with timber. That's like my dream right now. And I want it to have a matching counterweight. And yeah, so that's my dream, is to make a fixed axle with timber. And how about
we want to make a yo-yo out of wood as well. So I'm looking right now at this stuff called clarinet wood. It's a black clarinet musical instrument. So it's like this very expensive, really hard, really oily black wood that I would love to take and turn into a yo-yo. It's hard to machine wood on the machinery we have because it's not good to put organic material in where we have our coolant, because then you get bacterial explosions. So we're trying to figure out a way where we can make a wooden yo-yo on our equipment.
I want to get back to the tour, and I think wood is an interesting place to go, because I saw something in the Yo-Yo Jam drawer that I
Jamboo.
This is a wooden Yo-Yo Jam called the Jamboo. I have not seen this. I think this is probably one of the rarest Yo-Yo Jams I've ever seen, but I might be a fool. What a weird, it feels like cork, it feels...
My understanding is that this is bamboo flooring material that they just took a hole saw and they cut plugs out of. The thing about this yo-yo, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, is that of any yo-yo we have, this has the most pieces. I mean, there's caps and nuts, and there's like these reflective discs, and there's, there's this weird, that thing, and there's these little tiny rubber
rings.
spacers. I mean, this yo-yo has a lot of parts. I think we took it apart once, and it's got 13 pieces to put the whole thing together.
I just saw a question. One Drop has never made a fixed axle of wood, right?
Correct.
Have you ever made a fixed axle of any sort?
No, yeah. Well, no. We experimented once with a bearing called the Beach Buddy, which was going to be a C-sized Delrin bearing that you could put in a yo-yo if you're going to go to the beach and you didn't want to get sand in your bearing, so you could convert your any C-sized bearing. You could put a Beach Buddy in there, but the diameter was too big and it lost spin too quickly, so into the dustbin of history.
Yo-Yo Jam, you could have a lot more Yo-Yo Jams in here. I think that was right after, or right before y'all were kind of like in the space.
Right.
And they just did such interesting, influential stuff.
Oh yeah, no question. They were, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
even in modern yo-yoing, they were.
That being said, the stuff you do have is like, I thought I had a lot of Yo-Yo Jam, and I'm seeing stuff I just haven't even seen. What's going on there?
There's a Duncan Freehand Zero with
Modded.
I think. God, I wish I could remember who did that.
I saw Burnt Pyrotechnic was on here. Did they mod that?
I don't remember.
So, all right, I'm gonna keep going down the drawer. Actually, before I go down the drawer,
So that drawer is, let's see. So there's some G Squared, there's some Yo-Yo Jam, there's some Duncan, and there's some General Yo. So that's what's going on there.
all right. Before I go to the next drawer,
Yes.
you showed me this thing. These are crazy.
I love these.
These are what is the base yo-yo here?
Oh, that's a Vilmos. That's a Vilmos yo-yo.
So y'all worked with someone who works at an automotive detailing shop.
There's a Latin supermarket next door, and inside the supermarket is a little jewelry kiosk, and there was a young kid in there who did a lot of engraving for lowriders and that kind of thing, and we hired him to do these super cool engraving, they're all hand engraved.
So it's not just like, I know the thing that stands out the most is this.
Right.
Y'all sent him a raw.
Send him raw.
And
Yep.
he did these little notches.
Yeah.
Right. And those are really cool. And those couldn't be done on this machine.
Right.
Because they're
They're all hand done and really organic.
And on the outside, he also did this roping effect, like really subtle.
So cool.
Yeah, very cool. Like, again, not something you could do on that machine. And then after you anodized them, you gave them back to him, and he did this kind of reverse etching.
So we gave them to him raw. He did all the engraving. Then we had them anodized, and then brought back, and we just turned away the anodizing with a diamond tool.
That's how you did that.
Just in 2 bands.
God, that's cool.
Yeah.
God, that's
similar to.
So each one of these is different because they're all hand done.
Yeah, they're all hand done. It's similar to the Format C with the sight lines. It's a similar.
That's how you do that. It's just that's super.
You send it out for anodizing and bring it back in, and then you put the sight lines on.
Right.
Similar deal.
I'm gonna see if there's anything else interesting. So there are several drawers. Like we saw free hands.
That one. So then we get into. So these are still enough of any given company to have their own drawer. So here we got a whole mess of anti-yo. Here's my Anderts, which I just love.
2 Anderts here. These are both minis. His minis, I think, were kind of his most interesting yo-yos. Mm-hmm. And this is the Eli, named after his son. Mm-hmm. I don't know which one this is. This is after the Eli, I think.
Yes, it is, and it's maybe the name of his other child. I don't remember.
And these are great yo-yos. Although in retrospect, boy, they feel heavy.
Oh, sure, but they're so well made.
Chonkers.
And the way he got these tungsten rings in there, they're just super elegant for now. For them, they were just they were like jewelry. So my prized possessions here. So you got that, some anti-yo, some monkey finger,
copper plated wet. And then this one, I always personally felt a little bummed about this. This is clearly Schmoove grooves, but they ship them with like O-rings. So instead of calling them Schmoove grooves, they just were like double O-ring, which no one, including them, ever used. And I guess they experimented, but I was like, oh, cool, you got Schmoove grooves. They're like, no, not Schmoove grooves. I'm like, but effectively, they're Schmoove grooves. So they would have been the first company after the Itze, or after the end, to do Schmoove grooves. It took a long time for Schmoove grooves to catch them.
And here they are. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
So we've also got some monkey finger. I think this is I don't remember the name of this yo-yo, but this is the smoothest yo-yo we have, is this monkey finger. Awesome.
This thing is razor sharp.
That thing's razor sharp. There's some H-spin in there. And
I just cut the paper.
Oh my God. This over here, this is Landon Balk from 303. Like way back in the day, he was making, pins. And so he had all this acrylic stuff, and he made these groovy acrylic yo-yos. This is pure Teflon.
Whoa.
No, it's slick.
It's
heavy and slippery.
It feels like it's hard to hold.
Yeah, it's so slick.
I want to comment on your H-spin collection.
Sure.
A Handquake would be a must-have. Those are hard to get. I can't get one. This one, I don't even know what this is.
Right.
The dog pile, the Dorolin. But that shape is pretty interesting.
Oh, this was an awesome score.
Oh, anti-yo.
Yeah.
Which one is that?
This is called the.
Not the Countach.
No, not the Countach. We do have a Countach. This is one of the first 10.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. I don't remember. It'll come to me. There's too many yo-yos.
Right, I'm going down the drawers here.
Next.
And you maybe y'all can get why this is kind of an important collection. Like, you know, this is if you ever have an idea, if you ever have a theory, you could be like, oh, you know, someone else did something like that. Let's see how that worked,
Right.
and you know, change it. And you know, you've got companies that I haven't heard of. You've got companies I have heard of, yo-yos I haven't seen.
Right.
Here we have
Oh, hey, look.
quite a few Doc Pop yo-yos.
Yes.
So we have a Shawn Exploder prototype. This is before they had the kind of smooth bowl. This is an executive Kickstarter, which wasn't a 48-hour project, but a lot of the projects we have done have been very unusual.
Yeah,
this is,
for sure.
you know, a lightweight,
Tiny sea bearing.
We have stock, but well, not stock. It is siliconed and shimmed and sanded, but this is the bolt. And then you have a bolt knockoff, which always kind of cracked me up that like people made bootleg bolts when the bolts weren't available anymore. And then you have one of the rarest yo-yos possibly in your collection.
Yes.
Is the End, which you know, I have an End Part 2 around here. Actually, yeah, let's do it side by side.
Oh, right. Because you have one.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? I don't have an End. This is a yo-yo. This is a yo-yo that I made.
That you don't have.
I do not have one.
That's funny.
The End was acid bathed to get rid of the anodizing, and gave it this weird finish when we did put another coat on. So this is kind of like our attempt at recreating that weird coat. Now, obviously, they're totally different, but this is like an homage to this weird splotchiness. And this thing is in the best condition I've ever seen. When I did have ends, yeah, they were dinged up because I was breaking strings left and right on these.
Gotcha. That one got the leather belt treatment probably.
Yeah.
So we've got some Kaio in here, Kyle Weems. Let's see.
But not the magnesium.
No, I have a magnesium one out in the shop, and again, it's just dissolving into dust, you know, because it's not coated. It's just prototype. Here's a couple of Walters.
Let's do that right here.
Let's see. And then there's like, man, there's so many of these companies running around. Like Chico Yo-Yo Company is there. We've got some Diffio. These are. Oh yeah, look at that. That's a Diffio, right?
Yeah.
This is Kyle. This is a split decision. We have a two fat ladies somewhere.
Were these designed to have bearings set on them? This is a weird design.
I don't remember. Sure looks like it. I don't remember. Is this oh yeah, see, look at here. Does this have two bearings?
No.
No, it doesn't. We had a two fat ladies at some point.
None of y'all's are beefcaked.
We had one. I don't know what's happened. Oh, man down.
So the Walter, this is one of the first yo-yos that y'all probably worked on that was like, I want a responsive yo-yo.
Yeah.
And you were like, are you sure?
Well, I think that what happened was it Spencer?
Yeah.
He and Chris worked together creating the concept and then the CAD, and they sent it to us to do the manufacturing. So we machined it, but we didn't have much hand in at all in the design of the thing.
Okay.
You know, so that was between the two of them, and we made it. So, you know, we were part of the collab, but really just cut metal. Who knows? I don't know what it is.
This freakishly large thing with an X-Men symbol on it. 3D printed.
3D printed.
With your guts, probably.
And another 3D printed. This one? Hey, look at that. It does have our guts. How about that? Wait, does this one? Dang, we should sell those. Huh, how about that? Yeah, we got a lot of videos with our guts. All right. Okay, moving down.
I don't know that we're going to go through the whole collection.
Oh, so now with this one here, this is, I think, a bunch of stuff that's kind of mostly one-offs, maybe. So, you know, you get into, it's, you know, Dropner, of course.
Well, Dropner.
Super duper. And then...
Little Dropner.
Yeah, I mean, in here there's like some stuff that like maybe a company made one of, or we only have one of. Like here's that the Eppendorf.
The Eppendorf.
Love that. You know, like some old timey stuff. What is this? You know,
the zombie. They're making new zombies.
This one's got apple bubble gum in it.
Weird.
It doesn't taste very good.
Oh, my mom sent me one of these
the dollar store?
For Christmas, and I made a video where I said, "This is the trashy yo-yo," and she watched it. She's like, "What do you mean this is the trashy yo-yo?"
Yeah, Mom, it's a trashy yo-yo. And what's this? This is the.
This was the inspiration for the Weekender. This is the Axle Elite, which was not designed to be responsive, but back in the day, this was unresponsive, and now we would consider it highly responsive.
Oh, right.
How things have changed. So yeah,
So there's some buzz on stuff in there. Here's some old Duncan stuff in there. A bunch of stuff that's kind of one-offs, or we don't have enough of their stuff. Here's some fan art. Somebody made us and sent us a Lego yo-yo. Love that. And so then you move down to what's next. That's the other factory stuff, and then some oddball wood stuff.
some fixed axle. Oh, so I do like Spinworks out of Australia. I like their stuff a lot. You got quite a few of
This
theirs.
is really cool. I love that. Whoever this is, don't remember. There's just so many yo-yos I can't remember.
All right. So before we peace out, I want to see if there's any more questions for Shawn and myself. Ken42 says, any underrated favorites from y'all?
Underrated favorites.
For me, it would be the Markmont Classics in here. Those are, I think they're underrated.
What?
I think they're underrated.
Everyone loves them.
Yeah.
Let's see. For me, underrated. There's so many good choices that there's nothing really universal enough to where enough people are missing it. Like, with social media, with the internet, everybody's aware of everything. I think that it's maybe not underrated yo-yos, just yo-yos that aren't for everyone.
This is underrated.
There you go.
Silver plated, brass, side effect. That's the best yo-yo of all time.
I love side effects because they make life as a player and a manufacturer so easy.
All right. Any more questions from y'all? We'll drop them now or forever hold your peace. I think while we have this open.
Oh yeah, right.
Let's close this back.
Willie Markmont.
Willie Markmont and boop.
That's a good one.
Nickel plate. Oh man, that looks so cool.
It's a good yo-yo.
Kind of a Markmont Classic with a bit of a Sovereign maybe look to it. But yeah. Okay. Luna Wolf asks, what projects were the most fun to design?
The most fun to design. I think that for me, the 54, because it was the first yo-yo with side effects, and it was done because I was focusing so much on the tech part of the side effects down in the hub that I didn't really have a yo-yo to put them in. So I just kind of raced to put together a yo-yo for nationals that year, and it came out great. So that one was fun just because the compressed timeline. Same with the 48-hour yo-yos. They're fun because you're forced to do new things because you don't have time to do your usual things. That and the titanium yo-yos just because they're technically challenging.
Yeah, for me, the 48-hour yo-yos are my favorite yo-yos that I've ever worked on because the executive is tiny, the weekender is ultralight. This thing is weird. So yeah, they're always the weirdest, the most fun, and hands-on. By the end of 48 hours, or in today's case, like a 12-hour day or whatever, there was a prototype, and that's pretty fun. So we have, the Spooky Pig asked, what's your all-time favorite? And I think that was the
Citizen for me.
Citizen, which we showed earlier. Schoolboy Jew is asking about the creation of side effects. Whose idea was it?
That was mine. I did that.
And it was to solve the problem specifically of when you anodize stuff, you were kind of having trouble getting it consistent.
Yeah.
You did all this work, and then you really couldn't know what was going to happen with nickel plating and things like that.
Right. And frustratingly, that is the very last step. So we do a couple different operations on a yo-yo. We send them, and then we do a finishing operation, and everything is balanced and machined to like a very tight tolerance, and then we hand it off to an anodizer, and or a plater in case of nickel. And who knows what they were going to do? They would add a bunch of nickel. They would take away a bunch of aluminum in the etching process. So after all our hard work, the very last step was put into the care of people who didn't care. And so we developed side effects to kind of remove anodizing from the final process.
Adamantium Pimp is asking about the clarinet wood that you were talking about. Would it be responsive or unresponsive?
Probably unresponsive.
And I don't think y'all are looking to do a fixie unless it's a 48-hour project from now.
Unless you come back next year or in the dead of winter and we do that.
Born Acoustic is asking if you have machined any ART yo-yos.
Yes, we machined a whole mess of ART yo-yos.
All of them?
Not all of them. We didn't do the doorknob and we don't do the wood, but we do all of the...
The doorknob was an SF ART hybrid.
We do the 420s, the quails, the dales, the cubes, Ilia. Like there's a whole mess of.
And again, these guts are
Oh yeah,
one drop.
Yeah.
But that, you know, you're not turning the wood.
Right. No, we do lots of work for art.
All right. Well, I think that's kind of a wrap up.
Yeah. Good seeing you all.
So, you know, we just finished our 48-hour yo-yo project. I'm gonna go drive down to Humboldt next, not to work any more yo-yo stuff. I've got a prototype from our 48-hour collab. I'm working on a video, and I'll share that with you. And if you're on my Patreon, you'll see kind of behind the scenes stuff. You'll see footage of the prototype. But for everyone else, wait for the episode of podcast. And thank you so much for the questions. I really appreciate it. And, you know, stay happy, y'all.